MBE. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Danny.
Nice to talk to you. OK, so the question is, what is higher? Who trumps who, a dame or a baroness?
Well, they're actually two different things, Danny. So if you're a dame, then you have a Queen's Honour. So that is an award, and there are 5 key levels, and it starts with something called a British Empire Medal, and then it goes MBE, OBE, CBE, and then knighthood for a man and a damehood for a woman. A baroness, however, is somebody who is a member of the House of Lords. So a female member of the House of Lords is a baroness, and a male member is a lord. So he's referred to as Lord so-and-so instead of Mr., and a female is referred to as baroness instead of Mrs. or Miss.
Now, I don't know whether Laura Lee is married, but if Laura Lee is married, would her husband automatically be a lord if she's a baroness?
No, absolutely not. So, this is quite an interesting point, because if a man joins the House of Lords, he becomes a lord, and his wife would automatically become a lady. However, if a woman joins the House of Lords, she becomes a baroness, but the poor old husband doesn't get anything.
Not even a baron?
No, nothing at all. So it's totally unfair.
What is, Mark, if a baroness is the female equivalent of a lord, what is a baron then?
A baron is like a royal title that is passed down the generation. So it's nothing to do with the House of Lords. So you wouldn't be a baron if you joined the Lords. If you were a male, you would be a lord.
So the baroness, the baron and the baroness is just not to confuse the two. There's no connection whatsoever.
No. With regard to the House of Lords, a baroness is a female member of the House of Lords.
Got you. Now, you started... Forgive me, you started off by saying BEM. What do they stand for? That stands for British Empire Medal. So that's the entry-level Queen's Honour Award. OK.
And then it goes up one level to MBE, which stands for Member of the Order of the British Empire, then OBE, Officer, then CBE, Commander, and then KBE, Knight of the British Empire, or DBE, Dame of the British Empire. And the level of honour that you get is driven primarily by two things. Firstly, and not surprisingly, the magnitude of that person's achievements, but secondly, by the geographical spread of their influence. So, for example, someone running the under-12 soccer team in their village for 20 years may well be at the lower end, a British Empire Medal, because their geographical spread of influence is about 2 miles across the village.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody known nationally or internationally as a leader in their field, think Richard Branson, for example, known globally as a leading entrepreneur, it's no surprise he has a knighthood. He's a Sir, because his geographical spread is much, much broader than the guy running the under-12 soccer team in his village.
So would the guy running the under-12 footy team in a little village somewhere in a shire county get the BEM or the MBE?
Well, it depends if he's done or she's done other things, of course, because often people who get honours haven't just done one thing. They're selfless, giving people.
Yep.
Most people who get honours are people who are community and charity orientated. Some people get honours for being at the top of their game, so they might be eminent surgeons, actors, entrepreneurs, people like Richard Branson.
Broadcasters?
Broadcasters, yeah, I reckon yours will be in the post, Danny. Or maybe it's been lost in the post. You never know.
Let's take this more seriously in a moment, Mark. So carry on.
Yeah, it must be lost, Danny. I can't think of any other reason.
Well, I mean, listen, you mentioned about the under-12 footy team in a little village somewhere in a shire county. What about, I'm just thinking out loud, what about someone who has been in broadcasting, I'm thinking out loud again, for nearly 20 years, maybe in a big metropolitan region, a diverse, cosmopolitan sort of place, and brought light entertainment and inspiration to the Midlands for so long? Because some of my colleagues have MBEs.
Yeah.
I wonder how they got them and whether it's a proving ground and whether it's only a matter of time for me?
Well, the million-dollar question is, have you gone above and beyond the call of duty? People don't get honours for simply doing their job.
Let me ask, Mark, let me ask my producer, because I think I know the answer. Kev, would you say I've gone above and beyond my call of duty here at the station? So I stay behind and do extracurricular work and charity, and would you say, or am I more of a show and go sort of guy?
Yeah, I'm afraid I think you're more of a show and go type of guy, Dan, so you're not really going to be able to pull that off.
No,
sorry.
Forget that one, Mark.
That was a bit harsh, I think, Danny, to be honest.
Yeah, never underestimate the impact.
The other point, Danny, and this relates to all your listeners, is that you have to be in it to win it, and people can't nominate themselves. So if your listeners know of someone that they feel is worthy of an honour, put them forward, put pen to paper. You can nominate friends, family members, colleagues, community contacts, but they can't put themselves forward. So, Danny, you are reliant on your producer or a friend or colleague
or the listeners
to actually take action.
Or the listeners. Maybe a listener feels so inspired that I need to be recognised. And what would that involve? A day trip to Buckingham Palace, would it, Mark?
Yeah, if you're successful. So what tends to happen is if you're going to get an honour in the next list, and the next list will come out at the end of December, you will receive a letter from the Cabinet Office about 6 weeks before, so mid-November, and it says that the Queen is minded to give you whatever it is, MBE, knighthood, whatever, and if she were to do so, would you accept it? And you have to tick a box on the letter and send it back saying you would accept it.
Yep.
And the reason they ask you that is to spare Her Majesty any blushes should you turn it down, because it's embarrassing for her to put you on the honours list
and not turn up,
and then go, no thanks, I'm not accepting this on political grounds, for example.
Of course.
Which has happened a few times in the distant past.
Yes, I can believe it. And Mark, so one solitary letter wouldn't do it. I'm just trying to think of how people have been acknowledged and recognised before. So my colleagues and people in the media and that little 12-year-old the under-12 football team manager. So it must take a number of correspondence.
Yeah, you have to, if you want to nominate someone, you have to firstly complete the nomination form, which is quite a long and detailed process. We here spend about 100 to 150 hours on a typical nomination, to put it into context. In addition to that written nomination, you need a minimum of 2 letters of support from people who know that person and who are familiar with that person's work and achievements.
Yeah.
But we'd recommend about 5 to 15 letters from a range of people that know that person in slightly different ways, because the letters of support kind of validate what the nominator is saying about the nominee in the actual nomination itself, because the Cabinet Office kind of know that whoever's bothered to nominate someone is going to big them up, because you're not going to spend many, many hours writing a detailed nomination saying this person's worthy of an honour and go, and by the way, he's all right. You're going to go, this person's the best thing since sliced bread. So the Cabinet Office kind of read that and go, OK, right, he's supposed to be really good. Let's have a look at the letters of support. And if there are, say, 5 to 15 letters all backing up what the nominator's saying about this person, then unless there's some massive conspiracy going on, the Cabinet Office can trust that that nomination is fair, accurate and balanced.
Oh, how interesting, Mark. Now, forgive the cynicism, but isn't it open to people blagging?
In what way?
In the sense that I could pretend I'm the manager of an under-12 football team in Warwick, and I get 10 to 15 letters of support completely blagged by my mates, and then all of a sudden I'm invited down to London.
That would involve a massive conspiracy, though.
Yes.
Would 10 to 15 people really want to tell lies about you to the Cabinet Office to get you an honour you don't deserve?
Mark, I could, not me personally, but I could see, scallywags getting up to that sort of thing. I genuinely could. But not me. I wouldn't dream of it myself. But, you could just imagine someone fabricating a story about a pillar of the community and doing it so intelligently that 15 letters appear over the space of 6 months in different handwriting, different postcodes, different envelopes, making it look authentic. I could imagine someone playing the system, Mark. Would you be able to check that out?
Well, I think it's highly unlikely, but if that person did get an honour and truly didn't deserve it, there'd probably be enough uproar in that town or village,
yes,
and it would be brought to the attention of the Cabinet Office that this is one big sham.
Yeah.
And then, in theory, it could get referred to something called the Honours Forfeiture Committee, which is an ad hoc committee headed up by the head of the civil service, and they have the power to recommend that an honour is withdrawn.
OK, it's quite serious. Mark, can I thank you for your time? It's great to catch up with you again. We spoke a couple of years ago, so thank you for your valuable time. Good on you.
You're welcome, Danny.
Good man, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.